Hello and welcome. It's Jenny from the A to Z of Emotional Health. This video is very much overdue. I usually do a video at the start of every month where I talk about the theme for the month from the library. Now this month the theme has been self-care. We're heading for the end of the month and I haven't even done the introduction yet, and I've not been posting as much as I would usually do so. There's good reason for this. Actually, within my own personal life, I've had to pick up the fallout of someone's actions, someone with some very significant mental health problems. And it's been a really interesting learning curve because I've had to prioritise what I've needed to do. And amongst that, I've had to prioritise my own self-care. I've had to recognise what I can do and what I can't do. And as a consequence, I haven't been posting daily on our social media sites as I would expect to. So I thought I would do a video today to talk a little bit about that, because for most of us, sometimes life will at different times throw us a curveball. Stuff happens. And if that stuff is the outcome of someone else's actions, the reality is we're not actually in charge of that. We can do what we can do, we can navigate it to the very best of our ability. But ultimately, if somebody else's actions have an impact on our world, all we can do is approach it with the very best attitude that we can, so that we look after, I guess, our own well-being, and also try to consider the other person's well-being, even if the outcome of their actions isn't actually a particularly helpful or positive one, or if they themselves are refusing help and seem unable to manage their own lives. We have to think about what we can do and what we can't do. I've come increasingly to realise that self-care isn't always about having a nice hot bath and a glass of wine. Self-care sometimes means that we have to be quite firm. We have to say no to things that aren't okay. We have to hold boundaries, particularly if we're engaged with people who've for whatever reason they're not able to manage their own boundaries. Ultimately, at the very core of self-care sits self-responsibility. We have to step into a place where whatever is going on, we assume responsibility for ourselves, but not at the expense of others. We need to assume responsibility for what we can do and what we can't do, because if we try and give too much, we burn out, in which case we're fairly unhelpful to everyone, including ourselves. We do have to sometimes work overboard and pick up pieces of things that we simply have to. The key always is, I think, about viewing ourselves from a reasonably holistic position. We think about mind, body and soul. That includes, of course, emotions, because our emotions have a massive impact. They're like the connecting element between both our mind and our body. Emotions certainly impact on the way that we think. They affect our thought patterns and our perceptions, and they certainly impact on our physical well-being as well. When we are emotionally stressed and not okay, there is a massive impact on our physical durability and our physical resilience. So there's a lot to be thought about from an emotional perspective. But I'm going to close for now, and I am now going to make the series of videos that I intended to make for this month, albeit a little bit late, and I will hopefully be posting daily for the rest of the month.